So guys, finally, the Tinubu's government has made a U-turn. Initially, they said there was no buying of Nigerian Christians. You know, they denied the US saying that Christians were being buyed. They said nothing like that was happening. But as it stands now, they've made a U-turn and started negotiating with, Christian leaders. You are going to be listening to how Arise TV crew members have analyzed this. And Rufai made a very salient point, saying there's no point negotiating with Christian leaders. They should just stop the buying. So guys, after many times they came out to say there wasn't anything like that going on in Nigeria, now they've finally gone to start strengthening ties with Christian leaders. But is that the answer to almost 64 communities in Plateau State that has been sacked by these invaders? Is that the solution to all the IDP camps scattered across Nigeria because invaders came and, displaced these people? The government just has to do the needful. That's just what we want to see. As for Christians being buyed, yes, Christians are being buyed in Nigeria. Nobody can deny that. And we know since the US started talking about this, go and see on the internet the number of videos, videos of previous buying of Christians like in Benue, Plateau that have been circulating on the social media. So nobody can deny it anymore. Ayo has also warned the Christian leaders not to cover because it is about their people. It's better you speak the truth and save your people. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at this. But we are going to be starting with reaction trailing Nnamdi Kanu, deciding to defend himself. Now take a look.
Focusing on reactions trailing the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, which is set to commence today, Friday, October 24th. The trial was adjourned on Thursday after Kanu dismissed his entire team of senior advocates. The dramatic courtroom development came as Kanu declared his intention to represent himself. The courtroom was thrown into surprise. Kanu's lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, SAN, subsequently announced his withdrawal alongside other prominent senior advocates. When Justice Omotosho had invited Kanu to open his defense, he began by challenging the court's jurisdiction to continue the trial, but the judge overruled him, insisting that the case must proceed. This dramatic development follows Kanu's earlier notice listing 23 individuals, including high-profile government officials, as witnesses. Meanwhile, shortly after the trial, armed police arrested activist Omoyele Sowore outside the Federal High Court. Sowore had attended the trial of Nnamdi Kanu and was reportedly escorted by security operatives who insisted that they were acting on instructions from the Commissioner of Police.
So you said the Commissioner of Police said you should arrest me?
Yes, we are not
over what?
Bring you to the office.
By force?
Is it by force? I'm not holding you.
No, well, you said that, so why you then have... So we didn't bring a letter of invitation now?
Somebody, sorry.
That's not your business. When did you start telling people how to wear their clothes? Even though you know what you are doing is bad, so
I'm not doing anything bad.
No problem.
That's your family.
Well, we had to stand for you when they oppressed you. So if you are standing for oppression, you know the problem.
Just follow us.
Well, following Sowore's arrest, police spokesman Benjamin Hundeyin held a press conference saying that Sowore was arrested for allegedly directing some of the detained Free Nnamdi Kanu protesters to violate a subsisting court order that barred demonstrators from converging in certain areas of Abuja. Let's take a look.
The 13 people that were arrested previously all gave their statements, and there is a constant in all of their statements. Every one of them mentioned that one Omoyele Sowore led them into the restricted area in contravention of the court order. So it will be most unfair to charge some people to court and leave the person that led them to commit that more like their leader, the lead protester who told them and took them into the restricted area. And that's why in the spirit of fair play and to ensure that justice is served, Omoyele Sowore was arrested today, and like the others too, he wouldn't spend time with us. He wouldn't spend up to 24 hours with us. Once we wrap up the charges, he's going to be prosecuted. In fact, if everything goes right, our plan is to ensure that he is prosecuted today. He goes to court today.
All right, I'll take some reactions on X. This person wrote, so they suddenly realized their blunder. Arrested Kanu's brother and lawyer, left out the main organizer of the protest, then remembered, oh, right, Sowore's an activist. Now it's all damage control disguised as fairness. Classic medicine after death. Well, Saddam wrote, The Nigeria police force acted within its mandate, ensuring fairness, accountability, and balance before the law. No one is above due process, not even activists. If the goal is justice, then the police deserve commendation for maintaining law and order while allowing the legal process take its course. Finally, another ex-user wrote, "So now, protesting is gradually becoming a crime. In the Nigerian state, I see that the government is really taking us for granted. What I'm very sure is that a day will come when Nigerians will pull out in millions to say enough is enough." And that's the rhetoric. I mean, it's the fact that the police had come out to bar some certain areas, and now they are saying that Sowore led those people that are detained, including Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and brother, and so that is why they've arrested Sowore at this moment. I haven't seen if they have released him because, as you heard Benjamin Hundeyin yesterday saying that he was going to be charged and hopefully be arraigned. Ayo, your thoughts on it?
All right. So one of the things that we've decried a number of times is the intolerance of this administration to dissenting voices, and also put that side by the Nigerian citizens' right to peaceful protest. Recall that we'd also said that the court order had been obtained, but some of the protesters, some lawyers there had said that they didn't see any court order. And if indeed there was a court order, they had said there were some specific areas in Abuja that was not supposed to be, where protests shouldn't happen. One, Aso Villa, the National Assembly, and a few other places like that. What this demonstrates with regards to Omoyele Sowore and the other, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, is that people will then become afraid to exercise their right to peaceful protest. And in a democracy, as we keep on saying, it doesn't look good, it is not right. And we believe that as a true Democrat, the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration should not be one whereby there's a lack of respect for the constitutionally guaranteed rights of its citizens. And that's what we're calling for. If they're going to arrest Omoyele Sowore, they should arrest everybody that went out to protest, so that we would really say that they're very serious about it. Yeah. But I think it's very important that we keep on speaking up for this. We will not sit and watch whilst the rights of the citizens are eroded. I know that Omoyele Sowore will not sit this out. And some people have said he's going to cash out because by the time he sues or counter-sues for damages, maybe they'll hear it. But I think it should be tested in the courts as to the right or the extent of the right of the citizen to protest. We cannot keep silent or keep the people's mouths shut. Like one of the ex-users said, if we do this, there's only as much as can push people to the wall. Let us take the example of Nepal and some other countries where the young people have become so tired and now resorted to even violent extremities to send home their points. Let us not get to that point. Let every Nigerian citizen's voice be heard as long as it is done in the right way. They broke no laws, they were not violent. In fact, it was the police that tear gassed them very early in the morning. We mustn't have this on our watch.
So, I mean, those areas that they talked about, they touched on, including Aso Rock Villa, National Assembly. I don't think that I saw any because I did monitor the protests. I don't think I saw them in those areas at all. They started from the Hilton and then they were all around. But I wanted to just touch on also the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is going to defend himself. I'll take a post on X and I'll come to you because I know that you want to speak. This person wrote on X, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has every right to defend himself, but it is often wiser to let a lawyer handle the battle. The courtroom is not a place for emotion, but for skill, and a good lawyer can turn rights into real results. You wanted to add something quickly on that, then I go to Rufai.
Very quickly. My confusion, which I hope the police can clarify for us, is that when the first information report was released for those 13 who were arrested, their offences included criminal conspiracy, disobedience of a lawful order, inciting disturbance, and disturbance of public peace. However, now, and there was also the issue around singing war cries. But now the main issue for Sowore is they're saying that it is contravening the court order. So the concern is that all of their offences are different. If you get what I mean. So where's the uniformity in, they're being given the same treatment. However, it's not clear what the real issue is.
I think the real issue is that they came out to protest despite a court order, right? Is that what you were saying?
So what I'm saying is that the others, their main issues were inciting public disturbance and they were singing war songs, right? However, for sure, it's contravening the court order. However, when it came to contravening the court order, the police repelled them. They used tear gas. They say they didn't fire bullets, but they didn't actually get to the place that would allow them to contravene the court order, is the point that I was trying to make.
Talking about due process, at the end of the day, we have to respect court orders. And this is what Sowore is fighting for as well. Your thoughts on Nnamdi Kanu defending himself?
Okay, but I'll start with Sowore first. But you also have to respect the Constitution. You have a right of peaceful, assemblage in the Constitution. Let me take you back to 2007, 2008. That was what Gani Fawemi went to court to do in the Buhari case, where it was said, and the Supreme Court said that, please, you do not have any right to stop any protest. You don't even need police permits. So you see this colonial relic called the Nigerian police force, which always thinks force is everything, and makes these allegations against the protest. I think when you're asking who disrupted public peace, it is the police that disrupted public peace. Because when they started firing tear gas and causing unnecessary pollution and harm to a lot of people. And there were allegations. Anyway, he has debunked that they didn't fire live rounds. So it's the police that are disrupting public peace in this regard. I think we'll see how this case will pan out. So Sowore is not the first time out to cases like this. As regards to Nnamdi Kanu, he has the right to be able to defend himself. If that's the path he's chosen, I don't think it's a wise path anyway. But if that's the path he's chosen, be my guest.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how the case goes. It's going to start today, Friday. And I believe they gave him about 90 days, or he requested for 90 days to close. What a dramatic turn of events. Now, we're continuing our coverage on the recent allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. On Thursday, presidential spokesperson Daniel Bwala met with the leadership of the Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria as part of the federal government's ongoing dialogue with religious leaders. The engagement aims to strengthen collaboration with faith-based institutions and counter what the presidency describes as false narratives of religious persecution in the country. The Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria has membership in over 52 countries worldwide. The meeting follows similar engagements with the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. Daniel Bwala stated that the engagements became necessary following what he described as a coordinated misinformation campaign by certain U.S. congressmen and international media.
Khan had stated that they believe there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. We didn't go there to change their opinion or to change their position. We had a meeting with PFN. PFN said, we welcome you. Our preliminary position is that of our parent body, and we cannot deviate from them. We did not seek to change the opinion of PFN. So let it not be misconstrued, most respectfully, that our visit is aimed at changing the position that religious bodies have had or have held or are holding. No. Our engagement is so we can deepen dialogue. Our engagement is so we can promote religious tolerance and cohesion. Our engagement is so we can get to synergize a common front against the evil of insecurity in our society.
I think this is such a commendable move by the presidency to deepen dialogue. If you recall yesterday, we took the story about Daniel Bwala and Khan actually clarifying their statement, saying that they maintain that they didn't, trivialize the Christian genocide in Nigeria. And it's good to see that they are engaging with all the religious bodies to make sure that they're able to deepen this sort of dialogue and synergy between both of them.
This is going to be my quickest comment.
Go ahead.
What's the essence of deepening dialogue when people are still being killed? The best way to deepen dialogue is stop the killing.
That's what we highlighted yesterday. That is exactly what we said yesterday.
Absolutely. I commend the government for now going to engage the Christian leaders. I think it's important. The good thing about this, whilst they are strategizing, is to actually hear. You know, one of the things, if you want to know what's happening, listen to the primary stakeholders, and that's what they're doing. And that's why I'm glad that finally, and I don't think we should have gotten to this point where now that we want to be listed as a country of concern, we now want to go. All the time that the media in Nigeria was reporting these incidents, why didn't they take this effort? Perhaps we would not even be where we are now, trying to lobby the US to say that we're not a country of particular concern. But better late than never. So great that he's doing this, but most importantly is that can they take the feedback? And I pray that these bishops are going to be honest with them. Let them, because I can hear them say, oh, we are all good. Say the truth. What is really happening to your people? And then let the government take the feedback and work on it. That's what Nigerians want to see.
Fantastic. More on security. Meanwhile, Niger State Governor Umar Bago has declared a state of war against persistent bandit attacks, announcing his administration will not negotiate with criminals or pay ransom, as he believes paying ransom turns kidnapping into a business venture. Instead, he has called on residents to take up arms and defend themselves and their property. The announcement was made by the governor's special advisor on print media, Aisha Wakaso, following the governor's condolence visit to the recently attacked local government areas of the state, eliciting reactions. And I'll take some posts on X. This person wrote, Governor Bago, this statement is an admission of failure, not leadership. You are shielded by the full power of the state, the police, the army, the DSS, and civil defense, yet you tell helpless citizens to defend themselves. Your duty is to protect them, not abandon them. If the government can't guarantee the safety of its people, then it has forfeited its moral right to lead. Do the honorable thing, fix the system, or step aside for someone who will. Tolu wrote, well, every ransom paid fuels a parallel economy for criminals. By refusing to negotiate, the government is cutting off their business model. Now it's on them to actually combat and arrest the bandits. This is it. I mean, the huge conversation about whether or not we should be permitted to arm ourselves or carry guns has been a debate for a while. I mean, in the United States where it's allowed, we've seen, you know, I wouldn't say that's the reason for the killings, but what are your thoughts with what Umar Bago has stated now about
There's so many different dimensions, yes. I mean, gosh, the first is that he's not the first leader to call for self-help. However, we need to be careful about this narrative around self-help, because when we see self-help happen, we've seen so many instances. For example, there was a group of vigilantes in Edo State. You remember those hunters, they were killed. There are several groups that come up and call themselves self-styled vigilantes, and there have been several skirmishes and instances that have happened, and lives have been lost. So I think we need to be very careful in telling people to help themselves in instances of insecurity, because it can go horribly wrong. Having said that, we do know that collecting payment of ransom is illegal in Nigeria. But if we are saying it is illegal, then what is the support we are giving to our citizens to ensure that if these instances happen, that citizens are retrieved alive and in a good state? So first of all, if the kidnapping is said to be happening, then what are we doing to be able to recover and protect our people? But beyond that, the kidnapping should not even be happening. So how are the states being secured? We've said it several times that the governors are not helpless. Fine, they don't have the federal might to be able to discharge officers to the various areas, but what they do have, and I know we often take it lightly, but we can't underplay the role of non-kinetic strategies. For example, we just saw the story you took of Daniel Bola engaging in conversation, deepening engagement and conversation with various stakeholders in the state. I think a lot of that needs to happen, because beyond the narrative of terrorism, banditry, we know that there's a lot of communal clashes and communal conflicts that's happening as well. However, beyond that, I think Farmer Bago, who we love so much, and the rest of the governors of Nigeria need to start getting more creative with regards to how they're going to deal with insecurity in their states. Yesterday, we saw them at the NEC meeting talking about police reform and reform in police training and so forth. But we're not seeing enough pressure with regards to state police, because it seems this is where the conversation needs to go. However, each time it's brought to the agenda, for some strange reason, it's pushed to the back burner. Oh, yes, people are worried that governors will become mini emperors and all of that. But at this juncture that we've reached, I think it's far more important for us to protect lives and property first, and then figure out how to strengthen our institutions to ensure that we don't create some form of mini authoritarianism through the creation of state police.
Is the main point. Did you mention the situation in Edo State where there was a young girl who was kidnapped as well? Did you just say that?
I mentioned that group of self-proclaimed vigilantes who had killed the hunters at the beginning of the year.
I believe that Umar Bago has said that he's going to, initiate about, I believe, 10,000, security personnel, and that's a measure that he wants to take. But, speaking about insecurity, it's just becoming, and I wanted to mention the Edo State situation because there's a video of the mother who is still pleading for the release of her daughter. And I just wanted to highlight that I am following up on that story, and I believe that the security forces are also doing their best to try to get her out of the really sad situation in Edo State.
Real quickly, I disagree with Farmer Bago.
Yes.
What he said
about arms,
yes,
taking up
what
arms.
he says is in contravention of the Constitution.
Yes.
Section 14, subsection 2 says the state must provide security for those that have donated their sovereign to the states. It is the state's responsibility. If you say people should arm themselves, then you are abdicating the role of the sovereignty. So please, the state should do their work. That's why we pay taxes, and that's why we do everything we can to submit our sovereignty to the states.
Many have argued that is another form of chaos if we all have to
it's anarchy,
honestly. Bringing anarchy. I mean, I'm American, so it's kind of
America has laws, and that's why we always emphasize respect for the rule of law at all levels, because in a nation where we're still struggling with that, it'll be very difficult to legislate on that. I don't think we're ready for that.
And even with their laws, look at everything going wrong with gun violence.
As strong as their laws are, look at that. Nigeria is not ready.
Gun violence.
So guys, that is it for you guys. I don't know what you make of what is happening under Tinubu's government. Every day is a new story. I mean, strange things happening in Nigeria. When Buhari was going, Buhari said Nigerians were going to miss him. And people were like, on this planet Earth, you miss Buhari for what? But you can see that is the case today. Nigerians are now missing Buhari, if not for any other thing. The level of hunger we're experiencing now was not there. That has turned Nigeria into a criminal scene where, all these bad guys are just picking up people in the name of kidnapping, and then they're asking for money. A whole lot is happening in this country. Now, I'm going to be reading out some of the headlines on Twitter. The one here is a video. Let me read it out. It's by Sahara Reporters. It says, watch. Residents alarmed as truckload of suspected Fulani herdsmen flock to Kwara border community for INEC registration. Hey, Nigerians, what is happening? What is happening? People from nowhere came to register for INEC. Can you imagine? Are they from Niger? Or where are they from? The Nigerian security agents will not do anything. They are looking for Sowore to arrest. So guys, this country is gone. This country is gone. I'm just wondering the kind of leaders we have in this country. So is this how the Tinubu's government planned to win the election? Can you imagine that Fulani herdsmen from nowhere are coming to Kwara State to register? They just came with trailer load. They are not even from Kwara. Hey, now let's take a look at some of the reactions. This person said they are welcome. They are our brothers. No cause for alarm. Can you imagine? This other person say, just leave them. When the time comes, they will understand. And this person say, Tinubu, the modern day Afonja. What is Afonja? This was grazing route across Nigeria. Mietiala. Let me read very well. There's this headline. Tinubu says Nigeria reacts. Okay, I don't know what this means. This other person, Tinubu will continue to uphold Buhari's legacy. Shebi is what they said. Another person, Fulani herdsmen flogging into Kwara State will soon start a work. Some Renos called for and wish their communities and will soon spread to touch other Yoruba land. Can you imagine? Hey, so Kwara has finally been conquered. It's really, really so clear, Now, there's a headline here that says Fulani can be killing us, but as long as Obi is not president, I'm okay. Can you imagine? Somebody say they prefer Fulani killing them so long Peter Obi is not their president, it is okay for them. So guys, this is worrisome. I'm just wondering if Ojope and Arise TV are going to be seeing all this, you know. There's another headline here that says, I will vote Tinubu over and over again. We rather die like flies than vote your primitive Igbo man. So this is really, really heartbreaking to see this kind of headlines from Nigerians. And guess what? All these people who posted this, go and ask them how far about their lives today. You know, you cannot tell, as in, you can't really say of anything good about them. There's this other headline here that says federal government not against bandits because they are doing business, not secession, like Nnamdi Kanu. Hey, federal government is not against Fulani bandits because they are doing business. They are not secessionists like Nnamdi Kanu. This is a proof to show that no one can become a patriotic Nigerian without supporting Boko Haram terrorists. You see it, and this one says they are one. Yoruba and Fulani are one. Another person here said Tinubu and the modern day Afonja case against Mieti Allah. Sorry, I'm just going to take this again. This one says Tinubu government withdraws terrorism case against Mieti Allah Bodejo. That's the name of the person. This other one says 130 Yoruba group petition UN over impending genocide. One of terrorist invasion of southwest Nigeria. You see, the southwesterners are going. Oh my God. So guys, this is really so sad. You know, Fulani headsmen captured coming into Kwara State to register for INEC. Why? If this can be happening in Kwara State, you now wonder what will be happening in places like the far north. You know, if they can boldly come in trucks. Possibly these people are from Niger. For them to have come to Kwara State, it means they are not residents in Nigeria. What is happening in this country? Do we even have a leader? Do we have a government in place? It's really, really sad, you know. Now, this headline says, people of Ayamelum in Anambra State were left in shock after Soludo, who recently visited their town to campaign ahead of the forthcoming governorship election, claimed to have commissioned Ayamelum General Hospital at Anako and said surgeries had already begun. There. However, when residents visited the supposed mission hospital, they found an empty hall with no equipment, doctor or nurses inside. Very shameful. Very, very shameful the way Soludo is leading. You can't believe he's a scholar, honestly. Now, this other headline is about Mo, you know. That's Peter Obi's Dr. Mo, who has been campaigning. He said, I stand before you today not just as Dr. Moses Paul, but as a catalyst of transformation, unveiling the Directorate of Politics is a strategic engine built to think critically, act decisively, and win convincingly from the future of Abuja. So Mo has been going around campaigning, you know, this is it. So Ted Cruz is very serious about designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and it's not ending anytime soon. That is what I'm seeing here on the internet. And this person said, I know it seems like asking for too much, but we must raise our standard as a people and stop accepting crumbs from those who lead us. That is it. If Nigerians will hear, once you give them 20,000 naira per month, they will come here to start talking. Peter Obi faults Tinubu's government over 1 billion Lagos port upgrade. Says policy sidelines other region. You see, honestly, Peter Obi, Tinubu still wants to. He's building international airport. He's building Lagos Coastal Highway. Now, $1 billion for Lagos port. He's not even thinking of giving ports to other regions of Nigeria where people are doing business. If Igbo people come, they will say Igbos are not welcome in Lagos. Oh yeah, give them seaports now. They said no. They said no. Now, dear police, who and what defines restricted areas in Nigeria? Nigerian police, for how long will you continue like this? Free Omoyele Sowore, let all peaceful protesters and go after criminals. I mean, this message is strong. This message is very, very strong. Honestly, they should go for criminals. You see people inside the den of kidnappers. Nobody's bringing them back. China executes corrupt leaders while Nigeria pray for theirs. Olusegun Bakare is saying Nigeria does not execute their leaders, you know, they are corrupt leaders. Instead, they pray for them. So guys, let me know what you think about all this reaction in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.